Five Nights at Freddy's story, A Mangled Mess. It was a soothing, quiet day in the restaurant. I was feeling dreamy and wandering around, making sure that everything was just so. Some customers came in, and I seated them to their tables and took their orders. One of the customers, though, had an interesting thing to say to me. "Hey, are you new here?" he asked me. Yes, I said. "Well, then I guess you haven't heard. Did you see the news way back? In one of these old joints, several kids went missing. Never found them. Staff and police searched, but no trace. Well, careful how you go now, or you could end up joining them." Then he laughed, like crazy. I just walked away feeling a little bit freaked out. It was break time, and I went to the staff break room, and Ralph was there too. I sat down, but Ralph noticed something wrong with me. "Hey there, you okay, Chloe? What's wrong?" Ralph asked me. I told him about what the customer had said to me. Well, one of the customers said that some children went missing in one of the old places and never found them. Then he teased me and laughed at me. It was scary. "I'm sorry he said that, Chloe. I'm not gonna lie to you, though. The story about the missing kids was true. In one of our old locations, several kids did go missing. It was a horrifying time for everyone involved. No matter how hard the staff, police, or even the parents looked, they were just gone. It was a long time ago, and to this day, no one knows what happened to those kids." "Were there any witnesses at all?" "It was a public place. Someone must have seen something happen," I said. "Well, the only thing we know is that someone was seen with the kids wearing one of our mascot costumes. That may have been the last person to see those kids alive. People suspect that it was him, and because he was in a suit, people think it was one of us," Ralph said. "Well, that assumption does kind of make sense, though. I mean, those suits require training and skill to get into, and to use, so it would make sense. Either that or someone stole the suit and used it behind the restaurant's back, and just got lucky. Like Jack told me, the slightest breath or a tiny drop of water could set the spring locks back into a person. That's how Jack got his cuts and scars," I explained. "Yeah, Jack got really hurt after one of the spring locks accidents. But he's a resilient guy. 2 people sadly passed away from the spring lock suit injuries. That's why we stopped using them the way we do. Mr. Afton always used to use the spring Bonnie suit, and Mr. Emily always used the threadbare one. A few employees were trained to use it, but they are out of use now," Ralph said. "Maybe it was done by someone who knew one of the trained employees. I don't think Mr. Emily or Mr. Afton could have done this. They're businessmen. Why would they murder the customers? It was either a trained staff member or someone who knew a trained staff member. That's the only logical explanation. These are good points, but let's not pick at old wounds. That's why the newer characters have facial recognition software, to protect guests and other employees from criminals. We are trying to learn from our mistakes. We have more cameras, and all the robots have the criminal database, and we are hiring more security. Jeremy is doing fine. He's nearly finished his first night shift week. He wanted me to say hello to you for him. He's starting his day shift next week, He's looking forward to seeing you again. Ralph smiled. I was really looking forward to seeing Jeremy Fitzgerald again. Look, Chloe, don't worry about what happened. I promise you it won't happen to you or anyone anymore, Ralph reassured me. Later that day, Mr. Henry Emily came up to me. He looked really happy. Hello, Chloe. I have a unique assignment, if that's okay, he said to me. I nodded in agreement. Fantastic. Will you come with me, please? Mr. Emily took me to Kids Cove. And there was Mangle. I smiled excitedly. Today, I need you to watch out and over of Kids Cove. This character is a bit, mischievous and can climb the walls due to some special magnets. She's still friendly, and I'm sure there won't be any trouble. But just in case, we have Fritz monitoring the cameras and Michael's nearby. I'll be close by as well, so there's nothing to worry about. I'll see you in a bit, okay? Henry walked away back to his work. It was just me and Mangle for a while. Henry was right. Mangle was very cheeky and playful. But unlike the other animatronics who would glare and stare at the staff members in an unfriendly way, Mangle seemed really friendly and really gentle. She didn't seem to mind me being close. In fact, she seemed to interact with me the way the others would interact with the children. It made me happy that she liked me, considering that she was my favourite animatronic out of the bunch. She even let me pet her head, too. It was like she was alive and loved attention. Mangle may be broken up, but to me, she was always lovable. The only person she seemed to be upset to see was Mr. William Afton. When he came by, or even passed by, she would climb up to the ceiling like she was startled by his presence. All day, Mangle was always trying to get me to chase her around the Kids' Cove and trying to nuzzle my head, and would play with the children who came in Kids' Cove. She loved playing and having fun with those around her. Eventually, it was time for me to leave, but Mangle didn't seem to want me to leave. She tried to block me from leaving. Eventually, Michael did have to step in by gently moving Mangle out the way so I could go. See you later, Mangle. I waved goodbye. Mangle had her ears down with a sad expression. I felt bad, but I needed to go. But I knew I would see her again soon.